All right, let me talk about those living conditions again. So 0 out of 10 is like absolute hell on earth. Like there's no like you're like you're in bondage, you're a slave, you're living like in squalor, like shit, like you're getting shit on every day. You're like you have nothing. Like you literally have nothing. Like you don't have a future. You don't see anything going anywhere for you. You have like I mean nothing. Like it's worse than even living in the hood. Like this shit is like hell on earth for real. Like I can't even like fathom that type of shit. Like some people like I can't even. You know, I'm saying like as a real animal, I can't even fathom it. I can't even like imagine that shit or anything. Neither do I want to or anything. A 1 out of 10 is like like you're living on the streets. You're living in the ghetto. You're like a part of, you're getting like all kind of shits happening to you. You're getting like, there's murders, there's this, there's that. You're either, a part of that shit, you're not a part of that shit, but you're involved with it because it's the area you're in. And like, you're just, in a bad way. You are like not, not, not living well. Like you can't even see a way out. But at least for you, there is a way out, but you just can't see it. You know, it's hard to find, like really, really hard to find, because you are like tied down by family and friends, or people you think that are your friends, or people that are holding you back because they want you to be like this or like that, and you're living in a hell of some sorts too. A 2 out of 10 is a little better than that, but you have a little more wiggle room. So like you're living in a fucked up situation somewhere in the environment, right? You're still getting bitched around and stuff like that, but you like know you are. Like what I'm saying is the other person might not know, but you know that you're being bitched around, and people are like playing games with your fucking life. Um, but you like still do it anyways, and you're living in like shitty conditions. Shitty conditions meaning like you ain't living like in a house that is like all right. Like you have like gun violence. There's drugs coming in. Like all the fucking time in your life, and you just can't get by. Like you're seeing people die still and all kind of stuff. You're all kind of fucked up shit. Shit that I can't fathom, and other things. Because I'm not trying to experience that shit. We're not trying to go to the slums and shit like that over here. We're moving forward. I'm using this video as an example of like how the fuck living conditions can be. A 3 is, you being in those conditions and like truly knowing you can get out, but you stay there because like you feel as though you have to be there, or I don't know, you just maybe you even like grew attached to it over time, and you're just like, I have to stay, I have to do this. There's nothing, like I just have to do this type of life, but you still like bitch about your living conditions and other things. you know I don't know, these other people are doing other stuff, like they ain't here, girl, like calm down, bitch. um in a 4, and this is what I call a 4. You have like you get out, like you get out and you do stuff. You like your community, you're in a better community, or like a community you want to be a part of. um but you're still like not there, you're not fucking there, you're not living the way you want to live. you know you have means to move around and get things that you need. um but you're still, and this is like the living conditions I'm in a 4, and sometimes a 3 depending on where I'm at. But it never go past a 3. um Thankfully for me, and thank God for that, because like that's great. But I said, it's a 4 right here. Living okay. Like 1s and 2s coming in, you don't got like, when you get things from people, because like I have or like friendly, acquaintances, because like YouTube don't pay me yet and stuff, but I have friendly acquaintances, and they give me a couple of dollars here and there, or food here and there, so I can get by. I have a sleeping bag, and I'm grateful for all this shit, right? And like you could even like be losing shit because of the living conditions you're living in. So like like for example, I went to sleep in a place one time, and then like I woke up and my shit was gone. But luckily for me, I still had some things. Um, say what? Man, that's a bitch over there. Like I don't heed calls to that shit. I don't go backwards. What the fuck are people not getting about that? Like I won't go back until I have things, bitch. Like god damn, what a fucking weak ass bitch. I need to fuck a girl's mouth. Um, that don't come until like other levels. See, a five is, and I've had days like this where, and then like in four, and with a four and three and below, the weather is also playing a factor in your living conditions too. So like you're like not living like that well. So you're because you're outside or you're maybe you are inside but you don't have AC or any of that. It's cold as fuck or it's like just nasty because like if it's hot and like you're in an area that's like not cool. Um, you're living by like man the land like you are living on the land. That's living on the land. People don't know what living on the land means. They think it's like doing farm work and other things. It's not just that. It's like living by like means like that. You're sleeping outside on the fucking corner. Outside. And I like it ain't even that I'm trying to do this by choice necessarily. I'm saying that I can do that and other people can't. So that's an ability of mine. Now I don't want to fucking do this all the fucking time. That's why I'm explaining like standards of living and other things. In numbers. Like basically my living conditions are like this. A 4 out of 10. A 5 out of 10 is a little better, right? So like the weather is better. You're feeling better and other things, so you have an all right time. So like people will be like, oh wow, this guy is out here and other things, but he's all right, and other stuff. But this ain't what we're trying to do. We ain't trying to have an all right life. People ain't smart. We're trying to live a great life, amazing life. Hence the 888 on the fucking back of my shit. We have abundance. We live in abundance over here. People don't see it though. They don't see it yet because it ain't there for them. It's there for me. That's why they don't see it. That's why they don't hear it. I said, what? I don't know what the fuck that does. Anything that ain't me, I don't heed calls to. So then, um, a 6 out of 10 is when you're getting like that's when you're really starting to get what you want. You're starting to see things coming, like that house or them living conditions that you want come in. You're starting to see that come to fruition and stuff. You have more people around to like help you out, or you have more this and that. Better food, better lighting for a fucking YouTube channel. This YouTube channel. Better equipment, better everything. But you're still not there. But it is a good life. It is a 6 out of 10. You are, you know, basically, essentially, still working towards other things. You know, you're living better than other people. You if you're living like this, you shouldn't give anything to anybody though. I'll tell you that. If you're a 6 out of 10, unless you actually have a lot, like you got like only people who live good lives know what the fuck they have. See, I get money from people who are like this. I get people who have living conditions like this a lot. Like that's basically you're in a house and stuff. At that point, that's a good life. You know, you're in a fucking house. You're there. You're doing it and it's working for you. At least you know, and that's a 6 out of 10. Remember that. And that's living conditions. You know, and people are fine staying there for the rest of their life, and that's fine for them. But not me. We gotta move even higher than that. Great. That's like when we're at, you can go out to restaurants now, any restaurant, basically whenever you feel like it, but you can't go to like the most expensive restaurants without like, coming out of pocket a whole bunch of money. You have like a lot more shit than what you thought you would have. You have your things and you like, and by the time you're at a 6 and 7, you're fucking around with bitches too. You got bitches like fucking around with you. And that can happen in the 4 and 5 living conditions too. But we're fucking around. Like you're fucking around by fours and fives, but six and seven, like living conditions. Like you have a good living condition, or you have a 7 out of 10, which is a great living condition. You're fucking around with bitches. And you can't lie or anything. Like people who fuck around and like have shit, like you have a house and other things, and you're paying bills and other stuff. You don't bitch at me because you're fucking around and stuff, man. There's nothing wrong there. What you're bitching about is, you don't have the great status yet. You don't have the amazing status yet. Great status is, you're going out to like, dinner, you're going out to, the movies, you're going out, you're, you know, partying if you want to, you're having your like plans set for like maybe having kids or other things. Maybe you're trying to, have, you know, better other people's lives at this point. Because in this is where it starts at a seven, when you can truly better other people's lives. Like what I'm saying is you're giving shit to other people. You're giving things to your family and other things like, I'm living a great life. I want to give this to you. I like give back to my community because I have things now. And then like they see that and they're like, oh wow, that's great. And then they're like, they see you in a better light. And then that helps you even further get to an eight, which is an amazing life. Amazing life, you can like go out and you can do anything basically at that point. Anything you want. Um like you can go out, you can eat at this place, you can, take your bitch there. People know you, or maybe they don't know you, or but they probably know you. Like if you are a fucking amazing, living an amazing life, um, and and that's great, or not even great. That's amazing. That's even more than great. And that's what we're trying to like shoot for here. And then like 9 is legendary status. That's like you're known worldwide for that, and you're like the fucking shit. Like there's like no ifs, ands, or buts. Like that is the guy that does that shit. And then when you die, you were a legend, a living legend. That's who the fuck you are. There's no this and that. This is about status. This guy's a bitch. We don't listen to him. We don't listen to Capricorns over here. Capricorns need to like learn how to like find other things, do what they do basically. Um, I don't know if that was Capricorn or not. Somebody's fucking around with my dick because they don't like me being the gold rabbit. But he ain't helping me out with money, so he's a little bitch. I'll jack off in his face if he plays games too much. Not really, but he thinks that because he's a little bitch. Um, but and then 10 out of 10 is like perfect. Everything goes right for you like at all times, and that never happens, y'all. Like, well, I'm so real. Like a 10 out of 10 life is like not possible, but like you might feel that at some point in your life. So like it's more of like a you've attained everything you wanted type of feeling. And like this is for like probably old people who feel that way. They have grandkids or they don't have grandkids and they have all this stuff and they're just living life and they're like, I have this and it's cool. Because like that's life and stuff, at that point. But we ain't even like, girl, we at a 4 out of 10 right now. We at a 4. Um, so this is crazy, man. We out here. We got a sleeping bag. Niggas got you know, drink on hand because like this shit's like tough, girl. Like you can't like you gotta fuck around still. Um, and that's another thing. I was saying now 4 or 5 can fuck around. You gotta like not heed calls to where people are right now. Know that people are moving that way. But I haven't met those people yet. They haven't come for my dick. I haven't come for my dick right. My dick is the experience. Oh my god. There is actually a little bit of that in everybody, but I ain't gonna address that on here. Bitches get dumb. They think that this channel is only about this or that. It's my life basically, and how I come up from nothing, turn myself into something great. You know. And I start thinking about a Wiz Khalifa song. All of a sudden, I probably might play that song, maybe, God damn, my fucking arms are itchy. Like my fucking living conditions ain't that good right now. And it's cold tonight. Like, yeah, we are at a 4 out of 10 for sure. But with that being said, I said, I'm always grateful that I ain't at a, lower living state. Always grateful, dumb bitches who think I ain't grateful for what I have. Right now, um, I need way more, dumb bitch. And why do I get mad at bitches? Um, like they're supposed to want to help guys out. Like these bitches, I met bitches who are like, I don't understand why a woman wouldn't want to, sleep with you or even like, you know, fuck around with you. There should be no like doubts in her mind about, at least having some time with and then these girls just have to do that. Um, because like we keep getting stuff. I do keep getting stuff, just not enough stuff. And I know why. People play games with nutsack too much. Not knowing that, and this is the funny thing, and I shouldn't like even say anything until like have my shit, because like that's how this animal moves around. Um, I should say, um, it's not about outdoing anybody in any kind of way. It's about outdoing myself, and like, myself, me, not you, bitch, over there. That's a guy who's playing games with my dick. That's my experience he's playing games with. It's about me over here. Actually, I do go to work. The guy is a bitch. That's an old man who already has shit. I don't understand why bitches like old men. Um, I don't like bitches who like older men. And it ain't even that I don't like them. It's that they just don't need that. Cause like I'm already that. She has to want to invest in me. Like all these bitches have to want to. But I understand why they don't, because they've had bad relationships before and they see, with their experience, like, oh my God, if I like do that, then it shit can go south. He would only, do this. But I'm not even like that. I'm a YouTuber. I come up, and like I travel around. I love to travel. This is for my future and stuff. Because I love this land that I call like America, and people call America. It is beautiful in different spots, and there's different people and other things. I like to fuck around with certain girls, and they're only in certain areas. California being one of those areas, but like it's like these bitches are like harder to find when you're living like this. You know, I think Las Vegas would be a little easier to find things since there are less people and other stuff. I have to get there. It's like 420 miles away, 420 miles away from where I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm gonna hitchhike there or if I'm gonna just, you know, get a bus ticket with like what I usually do for my friendly acquaintances. You know, and that's like living conditions for y'all and a little bit extra, and a little bit extra. Playing games with my dick too much, people. Doing like this extra stuff, this dick. You want to see me on OnlyFans? That's a cool. That's fine. Yeah, but I ain't scared to show what I have. What gave me, God gave me, my parents gave me with this. Cool. Say what? Fine. Hey, I'm hopping around and stuff. Um, and I, and then people keep saying, white people, white people, white people. And white people are fine. I didn't say that they weren't. I said that they just don't understand stuff because they don't have the same type of dick. You know, they might like the same type of person, but my dick's different. My dick does this. Your dick does other things, boy. Same for the black guy who has like a tree trunk or an elephant trunk, depending on how they look at it. That shit's too long. Like, goddamn, nigga, I'm like, I don't know. white boy, that shit's too plain. That shit is white. That is, I said, girl, I don't got time for shit like that. My dick's the fucking boss around this spot. You know, that's the experience of Jackrabbit. We don't do other things. I have to fucking make videos like for days on this fucking channel. Hold on, like.